for years we've heard things. In the Cassie lawsuit, we heard things that was disturbing. I had personal phone calls from my position that we took when we first reported on that from guys that I respect and that I always listen to after all of that happened. And it was very interesting because there was a lot of we don't knows, we can't speak too soon, let things unfold and things like that, which is true. And sometimes what we do, Rory, is sometimes we speak prematurely because we're almost talking in real time some of the time. So I understood that. I was like, you know what? You're right. Maybe we have to let things unfold. But Friday was a day of there is nothing else to say about it. There's nothing else to debate about it. There's nothing else to question about it. Because while we saw that video, the one thing I found myself thinking about was what didn't we see?
If you're comfortable doing this in a public hotel lobby next to the elevator, what are you comfortable doing behind closed doors?
Right. So that was one of the first things I thought about. And I have sisters, I have nieces, I have a lot of female friends. And in that moment, I just thought about a lot of them. Like how many relatives and close women friends do I have that dealt with some shit like this and never told anybody? You start thinking about a lot. Like it's crazy what one video will do to your psyche and just your energy. And I started thinking about that. And like you said, Rory, if you can do that in front of cameras in a hallway and elevator, that's a certain ego that comes with that. That's a certain level of untouchable of regularity. That's regular. You do that like it was a lot of things that felt like a regular thing in that video. It almost felt like we were watching a movie because you see shit like that in movies, like a movie scene where domestic violence happens and you're like, damn, like that was crazy. But to watch that and know that was real and that wasn't a movie and the things that we didn't see, and just watching Cassie's, body language of not even trying to fight, kind of just laying there, like letting it happen, not wanting to fight back because, in fear of it escalating, going further and you being hurt more severely than you already are. It fucked with me. And I'll be honest, like it really fucked with me and it bothered me because again, here's somebody that, again, speaking for myself, that I held to such a high regard. And this was somebody that, I thought represented Black men in a very positive, very strong, very confident way. But to see that, all of that gets negated. All of that is, you hit the delete button on all of that shit. Anything I ever supported, I don't support it no more. Anything I ever spoke about, any great things that I ever had to say about the music and the fashion and, all of that is negated. It's over for that. That type of energy, that type of violence towards women is disturbing because again, what didn't we see?
And that's kind of to what Demaris was saying before. You didn't know, but still feel somewhat complicit in it just because of support. And
absolutely,
which we talked about when the Cassie case was filed. I think we were in London, whatever Patreon that was, and we were discussing like just being in the entertainment business alone makes you somewhat complicit.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know shit.
Yeah.
You're in a very sick world that is specific to harming a lot of women. Like it's, even if we don't know or not there, we know that this entertainment business is full of it and we still work with people without vetting the way maybe we should. But when you see something like that, I feel like all of us, whether it be in media, and we're not attached to Diddy, but if we're just in the entertainment space in some degree away from that, I think the general public can look at us and say, how the fuck did y'all not know? He did that publicly in a hotel hallway.
Yeah.
This wasn't footage. This wasn't footage from his master bedroom where just him and they don't know what he doing with his wife upstairs. If he felt so comfortable doing that there, you can't tell me there's a world where he didn't feel comfortable doing that type of behavior around his employees, around his friends, around his family, around anyone for the most part.
Yeah.
That was a fucking hotel lobby.
Yeah.
Anyone could have came up those elevators.
It's just...
So he's fine with doing that shit in front of people. So holding all of our feet to the fire about it, I think is a correct question.
Oh yeah.
What's up? He did this in public. Don't tell me y'all didn't see anything.
Yeah, but because I've been around people that have had domestic violence accusations on them. Now I've never seen it firsthand with my own eyes. I've never seen video of it. So, you always leave that space because that's such a thing where it's like, you always want to believe the woman, but unfortunately we've seen instances where women have lied about things like that. So it's a very thin line of support and a very thin line of, is this true or not?
Listen, two things can be true because we were maybe the only media outlet I felt like that was speaking up fully against Diddy when that shit was filed in November.
Mm.
But then the next episode, we also said when he got a million other cases, some of these could be probably fake.
Mm-hmm.
We're saying this Cassie one is not.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there is the world where some women are just going to say anything for a money grab.
Yeah.
But to discredit somebody that we know is forward-facing, like this isn't Jane Doe or anything. This is straight up somebody we've known he's been with for God knows how long. Mm-hmm. That needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
I'm not saying throw him under the jail without a conversation, but once that's filed, I was very much confident that Cassie was telling the truth in that.
Well, it was and I spoke to some lawyer friends, and when there was a settlement, and I said, isn't a settlement an admission of guilt to some degree? Because, and I said it, if, a woman puts any of that on my jacket, I'm not settling shit. If I know I didn't do nothing, I'll spend every dime I got fighting that case, because once that's on your jacket, it's on your jacket. Mm-hmm. It's like, yo, what was up with that case that you settled out of court? Like, where Shorty said you was, nah. So if you never did nothing of that nature, settling isn't an option. So when he settled, it was only fair to assume that he settled because some things in that lawsuit were true.
Yeah. And the more investigation that they did, the more evidence would come. If that has to go to a civil trial, yeah, it's gonna get
nasty.
Yeah, you're gonna look even crazier.
And I had some people say, well, don't you think Puff may have settled because, he got daughters, he got kids, and he don't want them to, hear what's in that case and what's in that lawsuit. It's kind of like just to make it go away. I said, maybe. But if he didn't do it, and he's not guilty of any of that, it's important to fight that so your kids know that ain't the type of father that ain't the type of man your father is.
Yeah.
So again, now that we have video footage and we having a, quote unquote apology, I'm sorry video from
sorry to who? When I was watching that.
And
that
sorry for
video,
what?
Sorry to who and sorry for what?
And sorry for what?
Who are you apologizing to in this video?
Who are you apologizing to? What are you apologizing for? Your actions. Who are you sorry to? None of that was mentioned. But I think it's, we have our platform. I think we can assume a little bit. Sorry that the video got out.
Yeah.
Sorry that we actually saw it. Sorry that, because there was a lot of...
And what are you apologizing to us for?
Right. And there was some posts on on his page after, enough is enough. Time will tell the truth and all of these things.
This is lies. None of this shit.
Yeah. So now that we have this video, it's I'm truly sorry. And my actions
I'm
are
in therapy and went to rehab. All right, what happened with that shit?
And that's another thing. And no
that you
disrespect to you, Rory, but that's another thing I'm tired of. I'm tired of the I go to therapy shit.
Oh,
I'm tired of that.
You don't need to apologize to me. The first thing I said when I watched that video to myself was, "Can you please leave God and therapy out of this shit?"
Yeah, I'm kind of off that. And I know therapy is important, and I know God obviously is the most important. But I'm also cool with being a man about the situation. And if you're going to turn on your camera and you're going to say anything after we see a video like that, I'm a piece of shit.
Another thing,
I ain't shit.
People aren't.
I fucked up. I don't even know what to say. I'm sorry. Like, I hate that this shit got out. I was a piece of shit for you. Like, I want to hear words like that. Don't tell me therapy and all. I don't want to hear therapy.
But Ma, when all of this originally happened, when the lawsuit originally came out, and you kept saying, we need to hear from Diddy, we need to hear from Diddy, we need to hear from Diddy. And I kept telling you, Ma, you don't want to hear from Diddy. You like, I do want to hear. And I'm like, no, you don't. Because what he's going to say is just going to piss you off.
No, but I do want to hear from him. I didn't want to hear that. That's what I'm saying. I want to hear from him. But I want to, be a man. Be a man.
But even
stand up the same way these guys get up there, because it's not, and let's be very clear, He's not the only one in our culture. He's not.
We know that.
He's the latest. He's not the only. So it's time for us to see, taking accountability in a way we've never seen it before. If you so sorry, then show us. Don't tell us. Show us that you're sorry.